now that the House rulings come about, now that all the other, I mean, there's still several lawsuits that are out there, and there are probably going to be a few more here and there. But could it be time that we figure out some intelligence when it comes to college football players and their being loyal to teams? I mean, it's a simple fact of this. If you want to actually make money, would it not make sense that you stick around with one team? You take a look at, as a Tennessee fan, I am want to do, the whole situation with Nico Iamaleava. Now, here's a guy who Tennessee fans knew that he wasn't perfect. They were thinking, okay, he just needed to learn a few things and he was under the right coach for that. But he left because he thought that he could get better money. Yeah, seriously. And you're also looking at what Boo Carter may have done that. We need to get to the point that we stop this silliness of players constantly moving around just because of money. You're going to get paid. It's a guarantee you're going to get paid. But I would argue that you would get paid far more money if you stay loyal to a team. So we're going to talk about that. Also, if you like this kind of content, especially because it's getting to be college football season, my favorite time of the year. Because first it's college football, then it's women's gymnastics. I do cover some basketball, as you notice on this channel, but it's college football season. So hit like and subscribe, and we will talk some college football. We will. Here we go.
Hey folks, this is Paul with Redneck Sports. I want to thank you for viewing my video, and I want to give you one thought process. There was a famous coach at the University of Tennessee by the name of General Robert Neyland. He had 6 maxims, but number 2 maxim is what everybody should apply to their life. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That's how to live your life right there.
Now, I am someone who's been watching college football. Oh, I'm 50 years old, so for me to actually pay attention, I would say at least 40 years. I would say that I've been watching Tennessee football off and on. I've probably watched football games since the 70s, but I may not remember them all that well. But around the time that I was 10, I really started getting into Tennessee football. And I started growing from there. And I didn't even have necessarily a household that college football was this amazing thing, but I was around people that loved college football, and I started learning more and more about college football. And college football in the South is a whole different level. Yes, we've got pro teams in the South. Not there wasn't a team. Tennessee Titans were not in Tennessee at the time. Yes, my family rooted for the Washington Redskins, but that was the Southern team. There was the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people where I'm from out in Tennessee rooted for them. They weren't always that good of a team, but you take a look at college football. That is the Southern sport. And we love us some loyal football players. We do. Heath Shuler is still loved and adored at University of Tennessee. Joe Namath, I know people that are constantly talking about Joe Namath from Alabama. Yes, if you didn't know that, Joe Namath played for Bear Bryant at Alabama. We talk college football. Steve Martin, I still adore that man. Peyton Manning, I still like him. Each school has their legends, and we talk about them, and we constantly talk about them. But until recently, they didn't really transfer all that much. I mean, you've got like Archibald Douglas for University of Tennessee, who played 1 year on one of the better University of Tennessee teams at the very beginning. And then he went to Naval Academy and did amazing things there. John Heisman. This is before the Heisman Trophy. This was the who the trophy's named after. Was a coach at the time and considered Archibald Henderson like one of the greats. And then he went into the Navy as a pilot and did various things there. But you take a look at how those people are talked about. Now, I may talk about Archibald Douglas a little bit more than most Tennessee fans, but those players in history, people at University of Tennessee adore them. You don't think that Peyton Manning isn't or doesn't get paid attention to? Heath Shuler. People want to buy from the Heath Shuler Realty Corporation in Tennessee. We know that when somebody played at the University of Tennessee that we want to do business with them. But now you've got these players who get in and they go, well, I get a little bit of money here, but I did really good. Now look at all these teams that are offering me this money. Have you ever considered that perhaps you need to use that in the long run, that the adoration that people will have for you, especially if you stay at a team, will be far more if you stay there, and it will be in the long run more profitable for you. I'm well aware that, people nowadays instant gratification culture. And that's been going on for since time immemorial. Instant gratification. That is like some kind of big deal. Few people actually care when it comes to common sense and doing what would help them in the long run. They only think about the here and now. How many of y'all, if y'all are Alabama fans, would go back, or if Joe Namath had shown up at, say, your business or whatever, that you would not have treated him really well? For that matter, if you're in Tennessee, you don't think that Peyton Manning isn't, got things going good for him? You don't think that Archie Manning and Eli Manning can go around Ole Miss and be very much appreciated? You don't think that sticking around at a school won't do you good? Universities build up communities. And people, is seen by the numbers that watch these games, people adore their teams, especially if they're winners. And if you're on these teams and you do really good and you become a household name because you're playing for this team, long in the future, people are going to be going, hey, I remember when you played for my team. If you're looking for a job, that will go a long way. If you're looking for, or if you just go in and you're running a charity, or somebody might just do good things for you just because. In the long run, you will have far more opportunities if you are known to be with one program. Now, Hendon Hooker did switch over to Tennessee, but look at what he did. Joe Milton. How many Tennessee fans are going to be good to Joe Milton because he stuck around and he did the honorable thing? Yes, he had originally been at Michigan, but he came to Tennessee and did far better. Hendon Hooker came from another school, did far better. Aniko Iamaleava is not going to be well appreciated in Tennessee. Dylan Sampson, on the other hand, from last year, will. We have to get to the point, and I keep naming quarterbacks because, well, that's the names that are popping in my head originally, but there are a lot of people that pay attention to Reggie White or Cobb Webb, Reggie Cobb, and all, you do what is right for the school that you go to, and guess what? You'll be appreciated. You don't think that Libby Dunn can now go to the Baton Rouge area? and be appreciated because she helped put LSU gymnastics on the map and she stayed at LSU the entire time. You don't think she won't be appreciated? Because I do. You take a look at Candace Parker is still Tamika Catchings. Those are lady balls. They're still appreciated by those people around Tennessee. I am pretty certain that Brittany Griner was to go anywhere around Baylor, the school of Baylor, and in Texas there, that those people still have an appreciation for her, especially with what she did there. You see the fan appreciation for Caitlin Clark when she goes back to Iowa. Sticking long term to a school will get you far more good in your life and will help you out far better if you stay in one place. Quit trying to be a mercenary and start trying to be loyal. Quit listening to these weirdos that are getting 25% of your NIL. For that matter, get an actual agent. If you're looking for an agent, go to an NFL agent and say, "Hey, can we work out that kind of contract?" How much you want to bet that they would be far more aligned to what your needs are than somebody that's going to take 25%, because that's what these agents are. These agents need to start being paid attention to because they're the main culprit in this. Now look, college football season's coming up. We're going to have new people that are going to become heroes. You're going to have people in South Carolina screaming the name Lenore Sellers. People in Texas are going to find out if Arch Manning is worth what they think he's worth. You're going to see new running backs that are going to be taking over for Dylan Sampson and Ashton Jeanty. You're going to have folks coming in that are going to take the place of some injured first stringer that is going to make a name for themselves this year. If those people will stay at the school that they make that name for themselves and build up, like Wad Rebays, he's a kicker that's at Tennessee. You don't think that we don't appreciate him in the state of Tennessee? That is what you've got to pay attention to. College football, well, college sports, period, but college football specifically, you get so many more heroes built up. You have people watching that and want to see not just big names, but the entire team play at the next level. That's why when you hear the names General Nealon, Johnny Majors, Bear Bryant, Bo Schembechler, sorry, like I just covered recently, Frank Beamer, you hear these names and people adore them. You don't think they got extra deals because of that? You don't think that Heath Schuler isn't, there aren't things that are looked the other way with people like Heath Schuler when they open up their businesses? You do these things and it's long term going to be far better for you than you taking immediate cash and building up no fan base. You don't build up a fan base, then all you're doing is looking to, if you even get into NFL or any of the other pro sports group or leagues, you're not going to have a fan base coming in, so you're less valuable of a product. And then when you leave, nobody cares about you anymore unless you've got the right personality. There's a reason why that Charles Barkley is so adored in Auburn, Alabama. There is a reason why that Shaquille O'Neal is so adored in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's because they were there their entire college career and then they went up and they still talk about those things. Build up loyalty. by being a loyal person, and you will help yourself out far better on at the end of the day than you will ever know. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.
I want to thank you for watching my video. And if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, and comment. Y'all have a good day now.